Kinesiology Meet Your Professor webinar. My name is Claire Bryan. I'll be moderating this session today. We might have some more guests show up in the next few minutes, but I thought we could get started. So I'm just going to go over a quick agenda of today. The first thing is that we're going to do some introductions. So who else is on the line with us today, and just some housekeeping tips. What you need to know coming into the fall term. Program overview, we do have some alumni kind of current student perspectives. We'll have some future touch points, and then we will finish with a live Q&A. Now to begin, for housekeeping, we'd like you to know that you can ask any questions at any time in our chat box. We will have other enrollment advisors on the line who can answer your questions as we go. Please keep your microphones muted, and we will get started. So I guess we messed up this one a little bit. I'm not actually Madison McKenzie. I'm Claire Bryan, but I am an enrollment advisor, and we actually did both work in Ontario this year, so you might recognize her or me. I actually am an Acadia alum, and I now work for the university.
Hi, I'm Renee Murphy. I'm the director of the School of Kinesiology. I am an exercise physiologist, so that means I will be teaching the first year students in their third year in the fall semester in exercise physiology. And in the interim, I would love to get to know you, so don't be strangers, and look forward to meeting you and seeing you around the campus as soon as we can do that.
Hi, I'm Ann Dodge, and I'm also a faculty member, but I'm also alumni. I'm a graduate of the physical education, the former program before the kinesiology program. So we will start very early, very first term in foundations class, and a number of electives through the rest of your degree that I'll be teaching. So as Dr. Murphy has said, don't hesitate to reach out if there are any problems, questions at all. Just go ahead and be in touch.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jana Wenzel, and I'm an instructor in the School of Kinesiology. And much like Professor Dodge, I'm very proud to be an alumna of Acadia University and the Bachelor of Physical Education program. As an instructor in the school, I teach you, meet with you, work with you in a number of different labs. So I'll see you first off in the fall lab. I'll so to getting to know you as students, and welcome.
My name's Scott Landry. I'm also a faculty within the School of Kinesiology. My background is engineering and biology, so I'm an alumnus at Acadia as well. And so I've done an engineering degree in biomedical engineering, and my role at Acadia is I cover and I teach anatomy first year, so I'll have you in the fall term, and then I'll have you in the second year as well with respect to biomechanics. Thanks.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Caitlin Gary. I am originally from Bradford, Ontario, and I am a current student. I just finished my second year, and next year I'll be starting in the athletic therapy option. I hold an executive position on the Acadia Kinesiology Society, which we'll talk about later. I'm also the president of the Acadia Field Lacrosse team, and I've been involved in strength and conditioning with Acadia Performance Training, and I've also been involved in SMILE.
Hello, everyone. My name is Court Clifford. I'm originally from Kingston, Ontario. I'm going in my fourth year doing my honors. I'm also been an RA for 2 years now, and next year I'll be moving off campus. I also was on the AKS with Caitlin, and I am also doing my exercise science and training practicum.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt. I'm here today as an alumni. I graduated in 2016. Since then, I've moved on to work a couple research positions, presently working in orthopedic research, and excitingly, I'm attending Dalhousie School of Medicine next year.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Before we get started with the program overview, we'd just like to address kind of the elephant in the room. While we don't really know what the implications are and what it'll look like in the fall right now, you should know that we are actively looking at every option, and we will let you know as soon as we do. You can stay in the know by following @Acadia News and @NewToAcadiaU on Instagram. And then we do post all recent updates onto the acadiau.ca webpage. You can also continue to explore our programs by attending our other Meet Your Professor webinars if you have multiple interests. And then coming up, we have our usual summer orientation is going to be virtual this year. So keep an eye on your email for that. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Jana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Claire. Appreciate it. So welcome to the School of Kinesiology. We are very proud of our historic building, and we consider this your home. So these are the front doors, the pillars and the columns that will be your home for the next 4 or so years. So the building is approaching its 100th birthday, and it contains the offices of all our full-time faculty and staff. We have an open door policy, and you will have access to this building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, using a swipe card. And this means that you can come and use the school and the spaces within it, particularly our student lounge, as a place to study. There's a printer to print off assignments, book a meeting room for any of those group projects you might have to do, or check in with one of our administrative assistants during regular office hours. Faculty are often found in their offices with the door open and keen to meet with you to answer questions you might have. We do have regular office hours, but most of us employ that open door type of policy where if you stick your head in and sort of say, you know, do you mind if we talk for a minute? We are always pleased to do so.
Okay, so I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit about the Acadia Kinesiology Society, which is definitely something you're going to become familiar with in one way or another during your time at Acadia. Basically, the AKS is a student-led group that connects kin students to each other, faculty, and also the professional world. So mostly the AKS hosts events throughout the year, both social and professional. Some of our big ones that hopefully you guys can look forward to this year are the Sweatpant Party and the end of the year Kinesiology Banquet. The other aspect of the AKS events are called speaker series, and these are required as a part of our degree as a form of professional development. So the AKS hosts several one-hour speaker series per year, and you need to attend 2 of these in your degree. And then also every other year we host a full 6-hour conference, which you need to attend 1 of during your degree. So these events are all great to attend so you can learn and network and those types of things. The actual AKS meets weekly and is made up of about 14-ish students across all years. So this past year, I was the social media coordinator. As well, we have other executive positions like social events, professional events, fundraising coordinator, as well as, of course, the president and vice president. As a year representative or as an executive member, we all work behind the scenes closely with professors and people in the field to put on these events. And most importantly, we communicate about what's going on in all of our core classes. So we act as the liaison between the students and the school to sort of better the student experience and help resolve any issues in the department. The members on the AKS have become some of my closest friends in kinesiology, and I've been really lucky to have those every year connections. If you're interested in being a part of our team, applications will come out early in the school year, but if not, you'll still definitely be hearing from us. And if you're interested in keeping up to date with us until then, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Once your class's year reps have been chosen, they'll primarily be the ones bringing you all the updates and things, or the ones that you'll go to if you have something you want to bring to us. So all of us on the AKS are super excited to welcome you, and I hope you're just as excited to get involved with us.
So within the degree program, we have several options that we're just going to highlight to you so that you can pursue areas of greater interest. So first year is common amongst all kinesiology students, but as you move into second year, there are greater options to diversify your elective selection. So your third and fourth year allows you to take courses that dive deeper into these specific areas. So the first of which is exercise science and training, and Court's going to speak to you about that one.
So the exercise science and training practicum is really unique, and we take a much more hands-on approach, working with our professors side by side and getting into the lab, working with all types of populations, whether that's high performance athletes or in the clinical setting or just everyday individuals. So we look at the things that are physiological characteristics inside of our body and things like that we can do to increase person's performance and put them to the next level. So for me, I grew up playing a lot of high level sports. So this area was really interesting for me because I could kind of determine what I had done wrong and what I could improve with other individuals and work with them to keep progressing them to where they could be. So we'll look at people like Usain Bolt and all the others on the starting line of the 100-meter and kind of determine what they're doing and why they're the best in their field, as well as just working with other individuals and seeing how we can increase their fitness level and become better. This option is really great because you got to work with a lot of cool equipment such as VO2 max and look at hearts with ECG and stuff. So we get an overall picture that we can then apply to the lab or outside of the lab and help people create their individual programs as well as become better at what they do and better their lives.
The Acadia Kinesiology degree also boasts an outstanding athletic therapy program. So again, this is a program that's within the kinesiology degree, and notably, this program is undergoing the Canadian Athletic Therapy Association accreditation process. So we're hoping that in due time, students that get accepted to this program are able to be certified by the Canadian Athletic Therapy Association itself. Now, this program starts after your second year, so going into your third year. It's your second year where you'll apply and do your interviews. And as part of this program, you'll have specific courses based on athletic injury assessment and rehabilitation. As part of that, you also put in a number of hours with a varsity team or a number of varsity teams. So each person in this program tends to be assigned to a team or two, depending on the team season. And you stick with that team as their athletic trainer. Normally, you're overseen by one of the head athletic therapists and a professor. But as a student yourself, you do take a large role in overseeing all the athletes in this program, making sure that they don't get injured. And when they do, you have the abilities and the skills to assess these injuries and help them go through the rehab process. One of the most amazing parts about this program is not only that it's so hands-on, but you also get to work with the coaches, you get to work with the strength and conditioning staff, and there's opportunities in the community as well, whether that's with the local hockey teams or soccer tournaments in the summer, for example. What we've seen from this program is exceptional mentorship from the students themselves. You have your senior therapists and your junior ones, and as well as the supervisors and the professors. And we've seen a lot of people come out in amazing career opportunities and career paths. Some people become athletic therapists with professional sports teams. Others go on to medicine, and still others go on to physiotherapy, occupational therapy, you name it. It's a great hands-on experience.
Health promotion, wellness, and health behavior change is another area of focus. So while many incoming students have sport in common, very quickly the health and well-being of the clients that we will work with in the future becomes central to our studies in kinesiology, whether that is as an occupational therapist, teacher, or trainer of any type. It is a theme that runs through our entire curriculum. So courses that focus specifically on this topic include electives entitled Health and Wellness. We have a chronic conditions class, so things like diabetes, for instance, wellness and aging, therapeutic exercise, as well as many more. And I think given the current situation, you could certainly see where students would go off to work in areas such as public health. Definitely some options and available positions in that field right now.
So adapted physical activity is an area of kinesiology to serve persons who require adaptation for participation in the context of physical activity. This area is very beneficial to literally everything. No matter what field you go in, you're probably going to deal with some sort of adaptation that you have to make at some point through your career. And this doesn't just include people with disabilities, it also includes older individuals who might not per se need a full-on adaptation, but might just need a little something to help them perform. So I've noticed that I've actually been able to gravitate towards this and use this sort of area of kinesiology to help me in some of the experiences I've gained over the summers. I currently am a head instructor of a sailing program. I grew up sailing at a very high level, and I was able to take some of these lessons I've learned and make an adaptive program for people with individuals who might have a disability that need a little something to experience these things that people like us might not. So what we do is we have about 150 clients, and we just bring them in and we see individually what can we do to make these experiences great. So this area is very heavily taught by Roxanne Seaman, who's one of our professors, and we'll talk about some of the things that she's done to include it into activities that can bridge the gap between our degree and the community outside, which is the SMILE program. She loves it. It's an awesome program, and we'll mention it further down on the presentation.
So another area that you'll soon find is very prevalent in kinesiology is coaching, leadership, and teaching. So there are a ton of classes in this area that will teach you to become a professional leader, including a coaching class as a second-year elective with the option of pursuing advanced coaching classes and a coaching practicum in upper years. Kinesiology is also often used as an undergrad before going into education, specifically, but of course not limited to, teaching PE. So if that's what you're thinking, then there are lots of opportunities to pursue that, including introductory classes to teaching physical education, which is also an upper year elective. I just want to mention too, there are lots of other great opportunities to gain leadership experience through activity labs, including outdoor leadership, where you learn how to plan and prepare for an out trip, camping and hiking that you actually go out on at the end of term. So there are lots of different options to get involved with leadership coaching and teaching. And if it's not something that you previously thought of, maybe getting a little bit of exposure to that and pursuing those options will really help you develop as a professional. There are also lots of leadership opportunities outside of classes too. As kin students, we're super involved in a lot of volunteer programs that all need leaders. As well, if you find yourself going out for club sports, those teams need executives, the AKS, as I mentioned. There are lots of coaching opportunities with strength and conditioning and our varsity teams and community members. So don't let all of those options overwhelm you. It just means that there's something for everyone in kin. And if you find something you're really passionate about, there are lots of ways to pursue that.
So the honors program is through our degree. And what we do is it typically looks like this. So during your second year, you'll approach professors that you might have an interest in working with. So you kind of pick a topic with them. And if they don't teach it, then usually there's someone else in our school that will. And you work with them over your third year to create a sort of plan, what you're going to do, and research summary of what's been done in the field. And then during your fourth year or summer going into fourth year, you start to do your actual research, and you get a lot of unique opportunities here. Mine this year, I'm working with Saeed McCary and Renee Murphy. It looks a little bit different, but we still touch in weekly. And these meetings, they're helping me guide me along in what I can sort of get done at the moment. But I think that's really unique because you grow up learning about these sort of researchers or things that have been done in the field, and you don't think it's possible. But then when you get here, you actually are able to work with something that you're interested in and put something back into the field. So I'm going to pass it on to Matt, and he's going to talk about what it looks like after you're out of school and how it can apply.
Cortland makes some great points about research. We're often talking about evidence-based practice. And as part of your degree, you'll find yourself looking at the body of literature and whatever you're interested in. So when you do an honors, you have the opportunity to kind of be part of that process, the person doing the research. And again, here at Acadia, it's an outstanding experience and opportunity to pursue something that interests you at a more specific level. So personally, I did my thesis as part of my honors with Dr. Landry in the M-Lab, and we'll touch on that in a moment. What that allowed me to do was study ACL, that's anterior cruciate ligament knee injuries. And from there, I went on after graduating to work at the hospital here in Halifax within the division of orthopedic surgery, where we did a lot of work with people who were getting hip and knee replacements and doing research, clinical research based on that population. So again, maybe not always what somebody thinks of when they're going into their undergrad. However, as you do get going, you'll see that it's a great doorway to pursue your individual interests at a much more specific level. And I got to say, one of the coolest things is going to conferences to present your research, and you see there's a whole bunch of master's students and lots of PhDs there, and you might find yourself there as an undergrad where people will also be assuming you might be a master's student or PhD. So that's kind of a big advantage of the honors program, specifically here at Acadia.
Thanks, Matt. I'll just go back one slide there. I just want to cover the M-Lab here and our research lab. So as Matt mentioned, one of the unique things about Acadia is that it's the undergrad students that are driving our research. So undergrads get an opportunity to work one-on-one with faculty, either as an honors project in their third or fourth year, or as an independent study or direct reading course where you're meeting up with a faculty member on a weekly basis and getting a credit for a specific course where you want to learn something very specific to your interests. This is one of our research labs. This is one of our newer research labs where a number of faculty are working in here, looking at concussions, looking at the biomechanics of knee injuries. We've also been fortunate, and Matt actually worked on this project. We've done a few projects for Adidas, for example. So Adidas, this motion capture lab, the picture that you see here, we create biomechanical models, and we test, for example, this would be the same type of lab that you'd see at Nike or Adidas, where they put the ping pong balls on the individual athletes and get them to run, cut, and jump, and you'd have sensors in the ground that would measure how hard they're hitting. So we're able to test how people respond to different footwear conditions. And we'd also work closely with varsity athletics and do some testing of our varsity athletes or young kids, for example, trying to understand risk factors for injury and also increase performance. Thanks.
All right, so the Bachelor of Kinesiology does allow for options or with degrees. So in these options, you complete the kinesiology core classes in addition to a prescribed list of courses from the other academic unit. Obviously, these are beneficial for a variety of career options, including a second teachable area if you're particularly interested in education. So we have agreements with nutrition, biology, which is on the next slide, and psychology. So students in their second year need to meet with the director of the School of Kinesiology, so Dr. Murphy is on the call today, and the director or the head of the other program in order to be accepted into these options. And there's psychology. So it just allows you to have if you know you have particular interests in other areas, perhaps you're not sure, you're trying to decide between one degree or the other, you're maybe thinking bio over kin. Well, this is your opportunity, after your first year to apply to do sort of a combo degree.
So the Acadia Smile program is an innovative academic-based volunteer-driven program that provides persons with varying disabilities a unique physical activity experience in order to improve their total development as individuals. To achieve this goal, an individual program is developed for each of our participants. That includes water orientation, physical fitness activities to improve strength, endurance, and flexibility, and perceptual motor programs to enhance development of body awareness, spatial awareness, temporal awareness, and sports skills. All this is done within a safe environment of either the gym or the pool or our snoozeland room. And it's great opportunity. I think it's safe to say it's probably one of Acadia's main attractions. And it actually has a ton of volunteers. I think it's around 450 student volunteers with only 250 participants. So it's quite a big program, and it's not just kinesiology students that are involved with it. So you got to reach out, and sometimes you'll get to work with people from other degrees, which is awesome. And it really goes to show our Acadia's strength at going beyond just our community and reaching out to a broader community and getting hands-on involvement. And Roxanne Seaman, who's in charge of this that I mentioned earlier, is fantastic, and they'll really help guide you and develop skills that you can use once you leave Acadia. And you'll meet a lot of great people and work with a lot of great individuals. It's a variety of ages, so you have little kids, then you have adults, and there happens on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you're busy during the week, then you can always work on Friday or Saturday. And you do a wide range of things. So as I mentioned, you develop things that will help work on these kids and adults, their disabilities, and help them develop these skills that they might not get from inside of the classroom. And they absolutely love it because usually it's just a fun game. And it's a really great program. And if you come here, I highly suggest that you become involved with it.
The Acadia Active Aging Program, or AAA, as well as the cardiac rehab programs, are smaller group exercise-based programs for older populations. The Acadia Active Aging Program is an awesome and very popular program that has 50 participants. Normally there's a great big waiting list ahead of that as well. And as part of this group, students are assigned to smaller groups, and they go through exercises, which is normally based on mobility and physical activity 3 times a week. Now, the cardiac rehab program is similar, but is kind of done in conjunction with the local hospital, the Valley Regional, to provide personalized exercise programs 2 times a week to individuals with cardiac needs. So people who have had heart attacks or are at risk of a cardiac event are eligible for this program. In both cases, these individuals are paired with these students, and they get to work together either one-on-one or small groups. And I think it's fair to say that the participants in both programs have high praise for the students who help run it. Not only that, for the students, the impact and seeing the progression of these participants is often the most encouraging part. Thank you.
So Kinder Skills is also a really fun extracurricular volunteer opportunity to get involved with. Volunteers in Kinder Skills are paired one-on-one with preschool age children as young as 13 months old. So twice a week you'd meet with your buddy to basically play with the purpose of developing basic motor skills like walking, running, jumping, etc., which is really crucial for healthy development for kids this age. It's always really fun to see the whole gym covered in toys and like big squishy mats, basically a 2-year-old's heaven. And you get to play with your buddy and watch them improve over the semester. It's definitely really rewarding since in that time you will be able to see your buddy's improvement. And you also get to meet and build strong connections with families in the community that last long after your volunteering time is over. So if you enjoy spending time with kids, then this is a great way to have some fun and take your mind off school as well as give back in the community. And also for future reference, you can also get involved with Kinder Skills through an activity lab called Physical Activity for Children, if that's something you're interested in.
Excellent. Thank you for that overview. So the slide in front of you shows the listing of the 5 courses you would take in each semester. And for those of you that have gone through the registration process, you are pre-registered in all of the first year courses, except for that single one that's highlighted in blue, the KIN 1113 Research Methods in Kinesiology. So directions for how to register for it are included in the welcome letter that you would have received from Kin Vaughn, our administrative coordinator. You should have received that by email, but you can also find instructions on how to register yourself in that course or the details on our website, kinesiology.acadiau.ca. And within that, and we can send out the links, there is a handy YouTube video that will walk you through the steps of how to do that online registration for that one course. So just a reminder that we are social and have lots of information on our website. You can follow us at Facebook and at Twitter. And I think we're going to head back to Claire to facilitate the question and answer portion. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jana, and to all of the speakers. Really, that was really informative. So we did mess around the slides a little bit. My apologies. So we will do questions before we give you some more information at the end. So basically, if you would like to speak and use your microphone, you're welcome to type RH into the chat. Or if you'd rather just type your question into the chat, that is fine as well. If you would rather contact us separately, you can email us at any time at acadiau.ca. And we will moderate these first come, first serve. So please don't be shy. If you have any questions for the professors or for the students, please put them in the chat box. In addition to that, there will be a copy of this presentation available for everyone on our website within 48 hours. You can always book a coffee date with us or a virtual one at the email I gave you already. And then if there are any questions at all related to kinesiology after this webinar, please email Kim Vaughn at acadiau.ca. All right. Yes, sorry, Kim.Vaughn. I apologize. In the meantime, maybe I'll ask the current students a couple questions, if that's okay. I think it's always helpful to get students' perspectives. So I'm going to ask this to all 3 of you, if you don't mind, and you can start with Caitlin, maybe. What did you like? What drew you to Wolfville and Acadia initially?
So I kind of ended up here by chance. The small town actually really spoke to me the loudest, but When I was in grade 11, I saw a photo of Acadia from like behind tower looking over the campus and the dike fields, and I knew that this is where I belonged. And I have not been disappointed, and coming all the way from Ontario, like I haven't regretted that move once since. I really liked the small town feel, and also getting to know your professors, which you really do get to know them. Having small classes and small labs, that was my main draw point, and 100% satisfaction so far.
Thank you. Court, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, so I didn't know that Acadia even existed, because I'm from Ontario in a small town where people either go to Queens or they go to Western. So I found out about Acadia through Memorial, actually. They said that I should go over and check out their booth when they came to our school. And since then, I knew I was going to go there, and I haven't regretted it since. I've always been a person who likes one-on-one meetings and getting to know professors and your classmates. So it's been a really easy transition for me, and I made a lot of great friends, and I've been able to do what I want to do with my degree, so I can do research and stuff. It's funny because when I was on my meeting tour, Scott Landry did a meeting with me and talked to me about his research, and I was really interested in that. And then once I got here, through our program, you kind of get opened up to a lot of other unique opportunities. So I kind of realized that there's more outside of kinesiology than a few specific pathways. So I'm really lucky that I've been here, and I'm really happy that I've been able to get a lot of hands-on experience.
Thank you. And Matt, just before I ask you, I'm going to actually bump in. There's a student question here. Is there co-op available for kinesiology? And maybe one of you guys or the professors can answer that.
I can take that one. We don't have a co-op program in kinesiology, and we did look at it. We, as a faculty, we tried to see if we can make one work. But in reality, when you're in a small town like Wolfville and you would have 3 semesters of work, you would probably wind up doing 1 or 2 of those co-ops in a setting that would not be as rewarding as some of the others. So, we didn't think it would be a good opportunity for students to spend a semester at a desk handing out towels or taking registration for a fitness facility, for example, as part of their co-op experiences. So what we did is really focused our attention on providing opportunities throughout the 4 years, so you don't have to stay longer, for students to get involved. And so you can get involved in a cardiac rehab program, you can get involved in the SMILE program, the Kinder Skills program, the Acadia Active Aging program, you can do some research in the honors program, and the list goes on and on. So we feel that our students can get those hands-on practical skills while taking their courses in their normal 4 years, and complete a very hands-on practical degree with us. So at this point, no co-op and no plan to develop one, at least in the short term.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, after completing the undergrad, what options do you have for graduate programs that are offered at Acadia? All right, so Acadia is primarily an undergraduate institution, so there are very few graduate programs. Kinesiology is in the process of applying to develop a master's program in kinesiology that would have 3 streams. The one stream would be a research-based master's degree, much like a lot of the master's degrees and elsewhere at other larger institutions. So you would work one-on-one with your faculty member in a specific area, whether that's biomechanics, exercise physiology, etc. So wherever your interest would lie. The second stream would be in the coaching, and then the third stream would be in the exercise professional. So we already have a number of courses in those areas at the undergrad level and expertise and opportunities. So we're extending that to provide students with a master's degree in those 3 particular areas. And that proposal is in front of Maritime Provinces Higher Education Commission right now, and we're anticipating approval very shortly. That's great, thank you. Are there any other questions from students? I might just go back to asking some alumni questions, and then if you do have any, please just keep popping them in the chat box. I left off and I didn't get a chance to ask Matt about how he felt about coming to Acadia and to Wolfville in general in such a small town.
So I admittedly didn't put a lot of forethought into coming to Acadia. My friend got recruited there for football, and that's one of the first times I heard about it. But that's what got me interested, and I went to a recruiting session in Ottawa, and they talked a lot about the athletic therapy. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I really liked kinesiology. I really liked anatomy and sports science. So that was enough to draw me there. But in hindsight, it was one of the better decisions that I've ever made. And we keep touching on it, but at Acadia, it is a small community. And for a small community, there's so much to do, and there's so many people and programs to get involved with. So you hear a lot about all the programs that everyone gets involved with, and it's not something that people are doing because they feel like they have to. It's like myself, something people just end up getting involved throughout their 4 years in a variety of programs. They pick up a whole bunch of new skills, hands-on skills, as well as make a lot of friends and connections, both with the students themselves, within the community, and the professors. So it was quite a special experience, one that I'd never want to give up.
Perfect. That's a great answer. I didn't realize all three of the alumni on the call were all from Ontario, so that's great.
I am thinking that's kind of funny. So as an older person who had to make the same decision, so as a Nova Scotian, I actually currently live in Head of St. Margaret's Bay, and so commute to Wolfville. But as a student coming out of Sir John A. Macdonald High School a number of years ago and having to make a decision about where to go to university, I, did the whole look. My older sister was at Western in Ontario, but I sort of wanted that balance of being close to home, but far enough away that I felt like I was away. And Acadia and Wolfville certainly offered that. It was the opportunity that, on a weekend, if you want to go into the city, you could do that. But it was close enough. But, Wolfville, certainly a great community. That feeling of safe, being able to walk around campus, in the evening, that kind of stuff. It's a great spot. So for me as a Nova Scotian, it was the balance of getting away, but not being too far away.
And of course, it feels like home, right?
Well, and it's funny because I lived in Wolfville for a number of years, and we came back to St. Margaret's Bay, but we miss Wolfville so much that we're moving back to Wolfville because, even as an older person, Wolfville has lots to offer, and is certainly actually becoming even more so with the wineries, lots of lovely restaurants, certainly great opportunities for outdoor recreation. We're on the number 3 highway. I don't want to walk, let alone ride my bicycle. So we have the rails to trails, but there's nothing like getting out on miles of dike land. You can go forever for a run or for a bike ride. There's certainly lots of outdoor pursuits that you can take advantage of in the valley for sure.
Wonderful.
And I'd love to take a stab at that, Claire, if I can. If that's okay. I'm third generation Acadia. My dad came back after the war and finished up his high school education and did his first bit of his engineering degree at Acadia. I'm a graduate. Our daughter has completed her BA. She is currently there doing her education degree. So if you want a smaller institution with a very strong academic record, we have an incredibly strong athletic record as well, but our academic record, I would say we can put up against just about any institution in the country. We are a small school, but we punch way above our weight. You've seen some of the programs profiled. You've heard the message from the current students. and a former student to say that, you know, there's a lot that we do within the kinesiology program incredibly well. So it's a good rounded experience. And of course, the more you put into your education, the more you're going to get out of it. But it's a wonderful place to grow up, and it's a wonderful place to be in school.
That's so nice. I do love Acadia. I have a question for the alumni again. If you could go back to your first year, what is the best piece of advice you could give yourself? And Caitlin, why don't you start?
If I could go back to first year, I think I would tell myself that university can be whatever I want to make it. So I went in with a lot of like predetermined thoughts, and a lot of people were telling me not what I had to do, but like what I should be looking into, how I should be feeling, what I should be, everything. And I wish that I could go back and just enter with a more open mind. For the great thing about first year Acadia Kin classes is that they're all required, so you get a little taste of everything. And if you think that you don't like a subject or you haven't thought about it before, like I wish that I could have gone in with a little bit more of an open mind, and I would have just figured out things a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. So that would be my advice to you all.
Perfect. Court?
I'd say that the biggest thing is getting involved, and that's not just with clubs and stuff. We hear that often with get involved with like societies or programs that are being run, which are really great, but a lot of our degree is also networking and meeting these people outside of our community. And I think that's one of the things that Wolfville does really well, is it gives you the opportunity to meet people not only in your degree, but outside of your degree. So studying is very important, and we study a lot, but also getting involved and hanging out with friends and stuff like that. Those are the memories you're going to make, not just in your first year, but they're going to lead into good friendships that will grow over the years, maybe even be your housemates. And I think that was really important that I didn't get involved. I got involved with a lot of clubs and stuff in the first year, but going out with friends and hanging out with them outside of class and getting to know them a little better, I think really made my experience a lot better.
Great. Matt, what about you?
On a similar note, I guess I have two big ones. One would be, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. As somebody who came from Ontario and didn't know many people, it was very intimidating, but I found the more new experience I had, the more capacity you have to start learning. And the more you kind of step out of your shell, the more you gain that confidence and that competence. So that's a big part. And then a second one, it's not as exciting, but first year is a great time, not only to have fun, but build some really good habits that will carry your success forward in your second, third, and fourth years. I know in my first year, I was a little bit quieter, but that allowed me to get some really good study habits down. Things get busy because there are so many good quality opportunities to get involved, whether that's through sports, community involvement, different programs within the degree. So the sooner you kind of figure out your time management and how to prioritize all those different things, the better off you'll be in the long run.
Great advice. Oh, does Acadia have an intramural program? Yes, it does. Is there a particular sport you're looking for, Natalie? But yes, it does have an intramural program. Yeah, there's several options available to you. I'm not sure if anyone wants to elaborate on this further.
I can mention a few.
I was gonna say me too.
Yeah, so I'm also one of the nice things about being faculty at Acadia is I've also been able to be one of the coaches with the varsity soccer team, the women's team, since I started here. And that's one of the things that I think is really special about Acadia is the faculty do not, they get so involved with the students. Like we have a number of faculty within kinesiology that are volunteering and working with the athletics program to enhance those. So by me being involved with varsity soccer, I do get to see, some of the intramurals would be, intramural hockey. There's field hockey. Another big one is ultimate. There's basketball. Those would be some of the ones that would stand out. Students have access to the arena, for example, so they can go during lunchtime and they can play pickup hockey or go for a skate during the afternoon when they have some downtime. And if you don't have your own skates, you can get access to those within our athletics complex. One of the great benefits of our kinesiology program is we're under the same roof as all of the varsity athletics programs. And so if you're working with AAA, the older active aging program, or cardiac rehab, you don't have to leave the building. Or if you're working with the varsity athletics teams as a strength and conditioning coach or as an athletic therapist, you're not leaving the building. You're all within all-encompassing complex, which is quite nice. So anyway, Jana, do you have any other intramural programs?
I was just going to say, in the past, so intramurals is often done through your residence. So, Acadia is very much prides itself on being a residential university. And so we often coordinate things through your residence program. I understand other universities do it by your academic program. But because of sort of that tied to residence life, that's often where you make your friends. So you make friends in your program, your academic program, but you also do lots of stuff through your residence. So teams are often put in by your individual residences. And then if you're an off-campus student or something like that, then usually, kinesiologists, there may be a kin team or something. So there's a different ways to enter into the intramurals. But I can remember some of my favorite things were playing broom ball as an intramural sport, for instance.
Thank you very much. The next question is regarding the first year or the first aid requirement for first year. If I'm certified but not through the Red Cross or St. John Ambulance, would I need to get that converted?
Hi, Abby. So basically we require what's normally a 2-day course. So first aid CPR level C or better with AED training. And as long as the organization that you took the course through can provide us with a certificate that meets that minimum standard, we will credit that for you. And for us, it's a pass-fail. So basically, we want the students to have it completed before they register for their second-year courses. And you would register normally in March of your first year. So if you have it done now, you can send us a copy of your certificate and we'll right away mark it as a passed, completed requirement. If it doesn't meet the minimum standard, then we'll let you know. And there are opportunities to do it here in Wolfville. There's a service provider in Kentville that we've contracted out, and they will come to campus on a weekend, normally a Saturday and a Sunday, and provide opportunities for kin students to take the certification right here, so they don't have to chase those courses. But if you're a lifeguard, for example, you probably have that minimum requirement, and you'll get the pass right away.
And Renee, if she wants to see if that will suffice, can she just mail that off to Kim Bond?
Mail it to Kim or mail it to kinesiology@acadiau.ca. That goes to Kim and me, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Great, thank you. All right, so we're almost at the end of our time here. So if there are any other questions, please put them in the chat box now. Oh. When/how do you register for electives?
I guess I can take that one too. So in first year, you don't have any electives. So kinesiology students are pre-registered in 9 of their 10 courses and the associated labs with the courses. And so we just ask you to register for that 10th course for a couple of reasons. One, we want you to know how to do that when March comes around next year, and just be familiar with the system. And then you start taking electives in your second year. So we've front-end loaded our degree. So you have a lot of required courses in first and second year, 3 in third year, and then 1 in fourth year. So a lot of the breadth is covered over the first 2 years, and then the depth comes in third and fourth year with your electives. So a good example would be a student that comes to Acadia, takes anatomy in first year, takes biomechanics in second year, and decides, okay, I really like biomechanics. Well, in third year, they can take advanced biomechanics, and in fourth year, they can take biomechanics of the knee, which are 2 electives that Scott would normally teach on rotation. So you get the opportunity to do more courses in a particular area because we front-end loaded our required courses for you.
Thank you very much. All right, so we have reached the end of our hour. So if you do have any other further questions, please use the emails that are provided on the screen ahead of you and also in the chat box. And I'd like to say a big thank you to all the professors and all the students that were able to join us today. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thanks. Looking forward to seeing you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claire. Maddie, Denise. Thanks, Jana.
I think that all